Oh yeah, you are now a whale.
Maybe they'll treat us much better next time you come on.
I lean over closer. I'll be able to turn you into a whale pretty soon.
That's awesome. As you make that comment, you guys are kind of looking, and you hear a voice behind you that you recognize very familiar, and that's the captain. And he says, "We will definitely not forget you. Next time, hopefully, Lord Dryland will be here, and you can meet with him." I'm sure he'd love to meet with
Captain,
you. Yes.
Who is the portrait of the stunning man in the game room? Who is that a portrait of?
Lord Dryland, of course. Who else would it be?
Ah, okay, I thought as much.
Yes. I mean, he's the owner of the Grand Dame, of course. We should have his portrait up, don't you think? So they kind of look around, and as that happens, you see that the lady doesn't cash in her tokens. You actually see, as everybody is cashing themselves out, you see one of the half-orcs that was guarding the Golden Goose table before is actually over at the over by Lady Italia, and he opens up a very ornate box, and she slowly starts stacking her chips into that box.
So I kind of whisper to the party, it's like, Lady Italia wants us to follow her when we get off the boat.
Oh, didn't know that.
So you kind of see, people are kind of getting off the boat, and everybody's saying goodbye, and yada yada yada. A lot of drunk people almost falling off the side of the dock there. They have some of the workers there to make sure that nobody actually falls into the drink. Lady Italia continues and is escorted by the staff to the gates, and then once she reaches the gates, they sort of kind of fall into the back to the boat to finish up cleaning up and doing things that they need to do.
Yeah, we'll try to follow out, get on out, and get to our chest real quick and get the stuff out of it.
Okay.
And you had said that Pao Ming had said it was illegal. It was against Yartar rule to not cash out, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That was absolutely correct. So she, you see Lady Italia, she starts walking briskly. She's alone, and you see her kind of walking the street in front of you, probably about 20, 25 feet in front, when she suddenly darts into an alley.
Hopefully this isn't one of the alleys that the Hand of Yartar told me not to go down.
Yeah, it's tough to remember. It doesn't appear to be the alley that they had talked about. However, especially at night, the Hand of Yartar does run the alleys. And if you're not well known or known to the Hand of Yartar, there could be trouble in an alley.
I'll sneak my shield out of William's pouch.
Yeah, you guys are able to get your stuff. So the box, it's still there. You're able to unlock it and get your things.
So you're saying that she's quite spry in height.
Yes. Yeah, she quickly ducked into the alleyway that's there.
And Melton, she was motioning for us to follow her.
Right, yeah. She told me in my head to follow her.
Wait, what?
She talked to me in my head, told me to follow her.
Did anybody else hear this?
Well, no. But she says she can't talk here, so we got to follow her so we can talk.
Why didn't she just say it out loud?
Well, she said, pretend everything is fine, so I guess we were being watched.
Okay.
All right, so let's go. Let's just be cautious.
Alrighty, so you guys continue down the street, and as you kind of come up towards that alley, the alley is pretty narrow, fairly dark. However, most of you have dark vision. And as you kind of peek around the corner, You see Lady Italia. She's in her purple dress. She's standing up against the wall. She kind of has her foot up against it, one of the feet against the wall, and kind of leaning back. And you see that she has what appears to be a small stick in her hand, and she brings it up to her mouth, and she puts it back down.
A small stick?
Yeah, it's glowing on the end. A little smoke comes out.
Mm. Little cigarette action, huh?
Yeah. She kind of looks to you, and as you walk up, you see her kind of push it against the wall, and she says, Melton, what took so long? Oh, nice picture, Melton. What took so long?
My name's Belton. Belton.
I know your name, Melton, and I know this is Stig and William and Barry and Relenia. Let's get away with the little subtleties and let's really talk about what's going on. By the way, Relenia, excellent little rat. I loved it. That was really a good way to get around.
How
How
did
do you know who we are?
Let's just say I have my ways. Is that fair? I know you had asked about the abductions. I wanted to talk to you about it. We were being watched, and I didn't feel it was safe to talk there.
Who was watching us? Powell?
The whole boat. Are you kidding me? They're the whole issue. Usith is the worst. Sorry, I'm sorry. Let's start from the beginning. You're worried about the nobles that are missing, is that right?
That's what we're here to investigate, yes.
So, there's this man, his name is Usith. He came to Yartar a few weeks ago. Initially he's very charming, but he's really an evil and a ruthless man under the surface. He's tall, he's handsome, and he has a black mustache, but he's been abducting these nobles.
For what reason?
I don't know. He just asks for them, and I'm afraid he's doing terrible things to them. I know nothing about him.
Well, we've seen what happened to one of the people, or one of the nobles that he captured.
What happened?
He turned Lord Artan into some kind of fish person.
Oh my God, is he okay? I mean, he was a nice kid. He's terrible at Sava, but he was a really good guy.
No, he was a jerk. But
Oh.
yeah, I think he's okay now.
Well, I'm glad he's okay. I knew this guy was bad.
Do you know where he stays?
Yeah, he lives in the sewers. He doesn't like to come up to the surface. He likes to stay out of sight of the shields as well as the Hand of Yartar. He has these fish people down there that treat him like a god.
Fish people.
Yeah, they're like fish people. They look like fish, but they're people. I don't know. I've never seen them before. I've anytime I have to interact with Usith, I have to see the fish people. They talk weird. They look funny. I go down in the sewers and not really that far, and they're there, and I talk to them.
Why do you have to interact with Usith?
She kind of looks around. She's like, "Damn." Well, I get Usith people. I gave him Artan. I know it's terrible. I'm sorry. I didn't want to get involved. I didn't do it willingly. I was forced.
I'm just kind of looking at her shocked right now.
Okay, and she's like, "If I didn't do it, he was going to kill me. He said, if you don't give me these people, I'm going to kill you."
Is the Lord in on it? Lord Drydock?
No, Lord Drydoth and everybody else on the Grand Dame aren't involved at all. I'm sure there's some spies that he has there, but I use the riverboat because it's a good place to pick up lone nobles. And that's what Osis wants, is nobles.
Is she telling the truth? Can I get an idea?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. You checking about the entire story or certain parts of it?
Just about the people on the boat knowing about it.
Yeah, so she seems that it's not all true. Something about that part is not true. So you do think that there's probably some people on the boat involved. You're not sure if it's the Lord, you're not sure if it's Pao Ming, you're not sure who it is, but definitely seems like there's some lies to that sort of the part of the story. She says, unfortunately, Uths taught me how to be able to tell who's needs to be taken and not, and so he taught me the skill, and I can read thoughts.
So why did you start working with him in the first place?
He was charming, he was nice, very dapper, he was great at Sava. I was attracted to him. He's ruthless, he's evil. Unfortunately, he's going to kill me if I don't do what he tells me to do. So, I mean, I'm sorry about Arten. He may not be a nice guy, but he didn't deserve it.
So who's your next target?
And did you know anything about the disappearance of Dawnflower and Salzburg?
Yes, I abducted them too. I'm not an evil person. I'm not a bad person. I got tied up with the wrong people, and I thought it was good, and it's not. She's like, man, but I can make good money with Sava. And I gotta tell you, Melton, how in the world, Stig, you can re-roll that, how in the world do you do that with that game? I mean, I'm really good at that game. I was even reading your thoughts, trying to figure it out.
I want to see if she's lying about the not being part of it and being tricked into it.
Yeah, she's not telling the truth.
Well, I just got lucky, that's all. I told you, it was all luck.
Oh, man, I've never seen anybody with the skills you have. Do you read thoughts, too? I mean, could we communicate back and forth? You didn't communicate back.
Well, let's see if I can. And I stare at her real hard, and I'm thinking of a midget riding a tricycle holding 2 pitchers of beer.
She's like, a midget riding a bicycle with 2 pitchers of beer? That's amazing.
Yeah, see, I read you read my thoughts.
You're right, I did read your thoughts.
So let me see what you're thinking.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, I see now.
You got it?
Oh, yeah.
Excellent. So, Melton, you understand, right? I was forced into this. There's nothing I could do.
Man, you got a secret.
We all have secrets.
I still don't understand. There are so many other choices that you could have made.
You're right.
How did you kidnap them, and where did you drop them off?
So kidnapping them is easy. I mean, you saw everybody in the boat. You saw the drinks, right? You just, a little drink here, a little drink there. It's really strong stuff. I don't drink it. I pretend like I'm drinking it, but I don't drink it. And then they get inebriated. I kind of put my arm around them. I'm a beautiful woman in a purple dress. They're young men. They're nobles. You get the picture. Once they're knocked out from the alcohol I give them and maybe a little clobber to the head, I bring them down to the sewers and hand them over to the fish people.
What do you do with all the chips?
I have a running tally there at the boat. They allow me to keep one table and they get half my payment. So every month I go back and they pay me the chips, whatever I make. I'm just as much as a victim as everybody else. I mean, I'm being tortured by this guy, told to do these things. I can't get out of it.
If you had seen what they're doing to these so-called children, I think your definition of torture and theirs would be quite different.
You're right. And that's why when Melton came to the table, I asked him to meet with me because I want to be free of this. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like hurting people. Please, can you help me? Can you help me stop this?
You tell us everything you know about Useth, where we can find him.
Sure, I'm happy to. He's down in the sewers. I'm happy to show you how to get down there. I won't go all the way to where the fish people are, because even though I can read thoughts, there's not much else I can do, to be honest with you. And I'm afraid, I'd probably be a hindrance. But I'll be happy to show you. He's a tall man. He has a black mustache, very, very handsome. And he has these magical powers, some sort of magic that he can give you skills and abilities. And he's down there. You'll have to get through the fish people, but once you get through them, it should be very easy to get to him.
Is he a human?
Yeah, he is human. Not too old, probably in late ages. Probably could have a couple kids, that are adults at this point, but he's not like super old.
All right, and you also have to tell us who else out on the boat knows about this.
I don't think anybody does. They probably have spies, I'm sure, because he told me if I ever didn't do what he told me to, he would kill me. I don't know who they are. I mean, there's probably somebody on the boat that's doing it. Maybe it's Mao Ping or Ping Mao or whatever his name is, her name.
Do you know about any correlation between one noble and another that you're picking for him? Does he tell you who to get, or you just...
He tells me.
You just get him?
He tells me.
And does he tell you why he wants anyone in particular?
No, there was at one point where I had brought down the first one, and he said it would help him with his collection of power, but he didn't tell me anything else.
And who was the first one?
Artan.
Do any of these have ties to Lord Dryland?
Not that I know of. I've only seen Lord Dryland on the boat. I've never seen him anywhere else. And, he comes and goes. He seems to be a fine gentleman. I mean, he gambles. I think he has business in Waterdeep and, runs the boat. It seems fine. I've never seen him anywhere else. Anyways, I'm happy to show you. If you want, I can walk you down there right now and show you exactly where the entrance is. I want to be done with this. I'm so tired of it. Please tell me you guys have spellcasters. You're going to need somebody. I mean, he's a sorcerer.
Don't worry about that.
Okay, all right. Whew. I'll try not to. I'm sorry. I get a little nervous sometimes.
So she told us she can read thoughts, right?
She did. She said that the wizard had cast a spell or gave her an ability to be able to do that.
Talia, so since you can read my thoughts, you know that I know you're lying about not being a full part of this.
I know that's your perception, but I'm not. And you're right. I know you don't trust me. I can tell. There's several of you. I know that this nice young lady here doesn't trust me either, but it's the truth. I know you don't believe me, but it's the truth.
Why should we trust you? You've kidnapped, basically spoiled children. Still, what did they do to deserve this?
Nothing, but he'd kill me, and I'm not as strong as you guys may be. I can't... I'm sorry, I'm shallow. I have to save my own skin, and if that's what it means, but that's why I'm getting you involved, so that way you can end this.
And if we do end this and free you from him, what will be your punishment?
Whatever you feel. I mean, if you want to turn me into the Water Baron, turn me into the Water Baron. I was just a pawn, just like the kids were, just like you are. You can re-roll that again, Stig.
Wow.
You guys better appreciate me.
What are you checking for there, Stig?
If she's just a pawn.
That doesn't seem quite to fit the picture, does it?
No. So are you leading us into a trap?
You know what's down there. I've told you. It's Uthsith and his fish people. I don't know of anything else down there. I've never been any farther. I'm not sure. I don't think so, but you never know, right?
How many fish people does he have in his employ?
I usually see 4.
Let's see if she's lying about leading us into a trap.
Yeah.
That'll be my last insight.
You already know. So, I mean, you know where this is going, right?
Okay. All right. Yeah.
What's the time frame between each of the kidnappings?
Depends. Sometimes it's a couple days. Sometimes it's 6 days. It seems that he wants it pretty much every week, so that there's always, it seems like, somebody being kidnapped. So maybe to keep the story going, I don't know, to maybe to power whatever he's powering. I'm not sure. Maybe he's making an army. I don't know.
I have an idea. How about you put these manacles on when we take you down there, and it'll look like we've captured you.
But you can't protect me.
We'll do the whole Chewie in the prison cell block thing. They'll totally fall for it.
Yeah, I've never seen that movie.
We can protect you.
Wait a
and plus
second, you've never seen Star Wars?
No, I have. I said they haven't.
Oh.
Oh no, my God, are you kidding me?
Whoa, I quit.
Yeah, no, yeah. No, what was that again? I'm sorry.
Oh, he said you can't protect yourself anyway, so you might as well have an alibi if we lose.
But if you lose, he won't even know I sent you down.
Well, he'll see that you have manacles on and that we captured you and forced you.
I'm really not comfortable with this. Plus, look at my purple dress. Everybody knows me by this dress. I don't have any other clothes. I don't want to get it all covered in sewage guck.
Well, you go down there anyway, right? You're going to show us.
Fair. That's fair.
Yeah, you have hundreds of gold pieces in your hand right now.
Yeah, that's true. Fine. And she says, hopefully Timora will look after me, right, Barry?
I don't know that she is looking your way right now.
I hope she is. She kind of puts her arms out and she says, please, not too tight, okay?
Talia, you know who is looking your way right now?
Who?
Barry.
Oh, okay.
I'll put the manacles on. Kind of tight.
All right. She's like, oh, that's too tight.
Oh, sorry. They're cheap. You know, latch only goes so far. Skip teeth.
Fine. All right, and she says, the sewer grate's right over here. Follow me. So you guys kind of follow her. You see there's a large grate in the middle of the alleyway there. Just looking at the edges, you can tell that the lid of this sewer grate has been lifted many, many times. The stone has kind of been scratched across. It's not very heavy. Seems to be made of not necessarily like an iron, heavy iron, but something of some sort of a composite that makes it pretty light to lift up. You can easily pick it up without any difficulties with one hand to slide it over. As you do, you see there's a large, there's a ladder that goes down about 25 feet to where you can see a stone pathway and water kind of down the center.
Time to make fish sticks.
Who's going down first?
William.
Aha!
Yeah,
William take the lead.
I'll just be like 10 feet behind William.
Okay. So
I
We
would
can't
like
really
to,
see, so Milton take the lead. He does have 120 Darkin too, so.
alrighty.
Yeah, I was going to cast light on William's shield.
So obviously the middle is the water. The edges are carved out on each side. You guys have come down the west edge, yep, where everybody's lined up. Relina, you're more than welcome to be in the center there if you'd like. The sewer water you see is it's pitch black down here, by the way. So it's filled with kind of refuse and garbage. And it's tough to tell exactly how deep it is. from where you're at, and you see that there's a passageway that comes off to the right there, and then Melton, you said, yeah, you can see forever.
I'll hop in and see how deep it is.
Okay, gotcha. So as you jump in, it's about 5 feet deep. And as you kind of jump in, you kind of immediately feel kind of the sewage and the garbage kind of moving around you and whatnot. I need a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, I see brown trout in there.
Exactly. So Stig, with your scaly skin and whatnot, you kind of feel things move around. You almost feel kind of home, like at the swamp in the Isle of Mermen. So, it doesn't feel all that unusual because you're used to being in swampy water, but yeah, it's pretty gross, but it's only 5 feet. The ceilings are pretty low here. At the gangways where you guys are walking, it's only about 8 feet high. The center of the tunnel where Stig is at is about 12 feet from the water level. The water is only about a foot below the gangway that's there. And the surfaces are all grimy and slippery. The vertical surfaces, the floors themselves are fine.
I'd like to cast light on William's shield.
Perfect. Sounds good.
I'll hop out.
Okay, you kind of slide back up the side there. Natalia's like, oh, this place gives me the creeps every time I come down here. And then, Melton, you can kind of see that distance there. You see what appears to be kind of a four-way passageway in the sewer system itself. And then you see some bridges that kind of cross over from one side to the other. There's an area that's kind of lifted up. It looks like a square area that's open kind of in the southeast part of that. And you see water on the other side. This may be kind of like a little... I want to say cesspool, but a small pool, or maybe it's kind of for overflow or whatnot. That's there.
Okay, anything there to the west?
Yep. So as you kind of peek around the corner there, you do see that there's a room. That room there, you can see what appears to be a table on the southern side of the room with a couple chairs, and then you see what appears to be a large hand wheel that's kind of in the floor itself, sticking up and out. So as you get a little bit closer, you see that this room has a second hand wheel in it as well. And in the southern corner, you see what appears to be a skeleton laying on the floor. He's naked and half dissolved, so there's some skin and whatnot that's there, but most of the skin and supplies or the stuff around him is gone. Yep, and he's just south of that there. And you do see the two hand wheels that are there, and there's several levers. And near that you see labels that are there. They're color-coded handles and whatnot, but half of the labels are like half rotten.
All right, I'll take a look, see if there's anything around this skeleton dude.
Alrighty. How about the rest of you? What are the rest of you guys doing?
Yeah, Relenio will just kind of move up into the hallway there.
Okay.
Keep a lookout.
Sounds good. So Melton, as you kind of look kind of around, you see that on the table there's a set of what looks like tools, and on this creature...
Disconnected from your channel.
Whoops, lost somebody.
Yeah, she needed to restart TeamSpeak.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, I see that. Okay, gotcha. And then underneath the skeleton, you see what looks like about 4 gold pieces and 11 silver. You doing okay over there, Barry?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, I said like a while ago that I cast light on William's shield.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So you're able to see kind of in a 20-foot area around, 40 feet essentially, 20 and 20.
20.
Yep, gotcha. And Melton's in the control room looking around.
Are there any rocks or anything?
Yeah, there's some small rocks and things that are there, sure.
I'll cast light on a rock and chuck it right there in the water. Can I
Sure.
see stuff floating by, or?
Yeah, there's general stuff. It's a very small, slow current. It appears to be flowing to the south here. But yeah, you see little pieces of garbage and literal crap kind of floating around.
All right, I'm gonna pick up a couple more rocks and just keep them with me, and I'll keep a lookout, watching the water and down the way.
Okay.
Melton's going to see if he can figure out what these valve things do.
Yeah, so you see there's 4 hand wheels there and 4 levers. And kind of looking at it, you see there's some things that are written there. Perfect, that's exactly what I needed. And yeah, so you kind of figure out that this is some way to let more water into this part of the sewer, or to actually cause emergency drainage to help quickly drain it out. So there's definitely some things here where you kind of look and see, and you're like, oh yeah, I got this, and kind of figure out exactly where things are at and what's going on. As that happens, though, pieces of gray stuff start falling from the ceiling.
The tokens are locked.
Yep. See you, Melton.
And all this stuff just starts dripping down from the walls and coming out of the ceiling, and just kind of all over the place. Go ahead and roll for initiative, everybody.
I'm sure that's friendly, Gray Muck.
Absolutely.
Oh, can I re-roll that? Am I close enough to bury?
You are
5,
close
10,
enough,
15, 20.
but-
Yep. I think it's an ability check, right? Didn't we talk about that before? Yeah, that's what I thought.
I needed that.
All right. So their surprise round is really kind of moving in and kind of down onto the floor and whatnot. So Relenia, you see all this gray stuff kind of dripping down on the floor and everything.
Oh, sorry. Wrong button. Is it like sentient, or is it just kind of dripping off the ceiling?
No, this seems to be, initially it looked like it was dripping, but now that it's on the ground, it's sort of forming where it's kind of coming up into these sort of almost pseudopod type things.
All right. I will.
Doesn't look sentient.
I'll move forward and smash this one with my quarterstaff.
Alrighty, sounds good. Yeah, that's a hit. So you kind of smack against that gray muck. As you do, kind of gray muck goes flying around.
And I think that's about it.
Alrighty. Melton.
Melton's going to do the break, and he's going to disengage as a bonus action.
Okay.
And get right there, and then he will shoot his bow.
Okay.
Don't know if that's really going to do anything.
Won't know till you try. That's a hit. So as you hit the muck, the arrow kind of bounces off the metal, and you see like muck or the floor, and muck kind of flies everywhere.
And I will, last 5 of my movement right there.
Alrighty, sounds good.
Can I see that one behind Relania?
Yep, you sure can.
Alright, I'm just gonna cast Sacred Flame on it.
Alrighty. It fails. Nice.
And I'm gonna step back.
Alrighty.